The Taylor University Athletic Department recently announced a few months ago that they'll be adding a 20th varsity sport, and that will be women's lacrosse coming in the spring of 2020. Joining me today is the first head coach in program history, Addie Wadley. Addie, welcome to Taylor University.
Hi, thank you very much.
You recently spent the last 2 years as the head coach at Lee, started that program from day one, went from a real tough year in year one to contending for a conference title in year two. Your team also scored almost 200 more goals from year one to year two. I'm not going to ask you how you score more than 200 goals from year one to year two because that might take a while, but what can you take from your experience at Lee and apply it to starting the program here at Taylor?
Absolutely. I guess I'd say one of the biggest things that became very obvious in that time was having the time to recruit and being able to bring in a strong freshman class. That was not something that I didn't have a lot of time at Lee, and so here Taylor's doing everything right. Having this year to recruit is going to be huge, but I also get to work with the club team, and there is a great thriving club team here, so being able to pull in as many of those upperclassmen so that we aren't young in our first year, I think will help a lot as well.
How do you think being able to work with the club team will help build the varsity program, but also help you get acclimated to Taylor and the Taylor community?
I've already been able to meet a few of the girls on the club team, and it's great just hearing their stories and hearing about how much they love Taylor and how much they love lacrosse at Taylor. They're so passionate about what they're doing, and I love that. So to be able to kind of get in there and work with them, kind of feed off of their passion a little bit and be able to carry that into the varsity program is going to be awesome. So.
What are some of the traits that you're looking for as you go out and recruit the first recruiting class and the first members of the Taylor varsity women's lacrosse team?
Mostly, we're looking for girls with heart. You can see it on the field when they're playing, and if you get girls that are fighting for every ground ball, they make a mistake and they're not hanging their head, but they're turning around and working hard to get that ball back. That's what I want. I'm not looking for the perfect athlete. I'm looking for, someone who's going to fight and contend no matter what. So.
And lastly, we mentioned first varsity game will be in the spring of 2020, and as you mentioned, a whole year to recruit. But what's the excitement level like for you building this program throughout this year, and then before we know it, 2020 is going to be here, and it'll be the time for the very first varsity women's lacrosse game in Taylor athletics history. What's the excitement like for you?
I'm so excited. I'm loving just kind of getting to know campus here and getting familiar with everything. I think having this year is going to be great because it gives me the chance to make sure that I do everything right. I can really cover every base as we get started and make sure that I know exactly what this team is going to be fighting for and working for in our first year. So.
Well, Addie, thanks for the time. Good luck on the recruiting trail this summer and throughout the year, and we'll talk to you before the very first game in 2020.
Thank you very much.
That's Addie Wadley, the new women's lacrosse head coach here at Taylor University. To stay up to date with Taylor women's lacrosse, just log on to athletics.taylor.edu.